Welcome back to Casual Conversations. I'm your host, Ryan Bean, here with the talent behind the show, Elena Sweetser. And we are here on a nice, chilly December day in Texas, Dallas, Texas. So
it is. For Texas, it's cold.
It's cold. We're weak, though. we do not have a very... most of the Michiganders that listen to us would probably say different. But anyway, a few episodes ago, we decided we were going to bring a topic to the discussion that only one of us knew, so that we can get into it off the cuff. So, and a lot of people that gave us their feedback love that idea.
Yeah, because it keeps it more genuine.
It does.
And more of a conversation.
And how would you strike up a conversation with your friends in your backyard? It would come off of just something random, right? Yeah. So today is my turn, my episode.
Right.
And so I thought about this for a while, and it's something that we've touched base on a couple times in our episodes, but we really haven't dug deeper, is gratefulness. Okay. And how important gratefulness is to any successful person. Yeah.
I mean, it's everything. You look at anything that you hear from any successful person. And I will add, I think successful people are happy people, not just people with money. I want to make sure I point that out.
Success is different. It's not always about money to be success.
But I think if you look at some of the happiest people who are truly rich in life, in all aspects in life, they have gratitude is just something that naturally comes to them, or that they make efforts to do. I mean, you look at everybody, how do they start their day? They start it with being grateful for the things that they have, the lessons that they learned, everything.
Do you start that way?
So I have. So I didn't as a kid. I used to, when I got into my real estate business at 23, I'm 34 now. And I took a lot of real estate courses and classes, and that's something they teach you, like, consistently in these things. It's all about your mindset. Yeah. And they tell you, start your day writing down 3 things that you're grateful for, and they can't be the same thing. That's the challenge. Can't be the same thing every day. You can be generically the same thing, but down to the detail of, I'm grateful that yesterday my kid out of the blue said, I love his family.
You can find things you're grateful for every day, right? Yeah. Grateful for waking up, opening your eyes on another day. It's something that I take near and dear to my heart, and it's similar to you. I didn't really embrace it as much as I needed to until later on. But the first thing I do every morning when I wake up is it's a little prayer in my head. Thank you, God, for another day of life. I know I get to spend another day with my wife and my kids. Thank you for a roof that I have over my head and a bed that I slept in comfortably last night.
I get to still go to.
Yeah, and you start focusing on all those positive things in your life. I think it ultimately just makes you a positive person. And it doesn't mean you're not going to have bad days. It doesn't mean you're not going to be stressed. It doesn't mean you're not going to be angry. We're human. We all have those emotions. We all deal with that. But overall, I agree with you. If you look at the most successful people, and again, back to your point, it doesn't mean money is successful. It's people that have great relationships, have good families, get to do the things they want to do, get to give to people, and they're overall they're so grateful for the things they have. That's success.
Things they have and things they don't have.
Yeah, and that's another conversation. Is we talked about before. Is let's have a conversation about what success truly is. Is success
to us, at least?
Yeah, to us, and to some people, it's all monetary. It's all what's in the bank account. To me, that's a part of it. It's a byproduct that comes from the other things.
Yeah. And I think, gratitude is something that you don't have to practice just to be successful. So I think about, like, adults. We think we don't practice that. And we kind of briefly talked about this before, where we think that it should start all the way down to when you're a kid, like practicing gratitude as a kid. Because, you look at kids these days and the amount of stuff and toys that they get. And sometimes I question myself when I look at my kid. I'm like, is he grateful, or is this just normal to him?
It's normal.
And so... In
your situation, you guys have made it normal.
Yeah, so I go out of my way, like, to push it on him that you need to be grateful. When somebody gives you a gift, that you need to be grateful that they thought of you. It's not about the gift, it's about the idea and action behind the somebody.
Right.
So it comes down to, like, what is gratitude really? There's different ways that people can look into it, right? And there's different ways people can manipulate it. Like when I think about when I did my real estate classes, and they say be grateful for things every day. I didn't really do it with intention then until my son was born. And then I was like, this is what gratitude really
well,
feels
now
like.
it clicked, right? Something had to click. The why had to change something. And again, these things are easy, right? When people, they get on, they go to these seminars, and they've already embraced those things in their life. So when they basically are telling you your seminars or these, these big things you go to, which I think is fantastic, by the way, it's people that already have incorporated that in their everyday lives. And they're trying to tell these people, this is what really turned a corner for me. But you have to have something that triggers you eventually to where, okay, I'm going to wake up every day with gratitude. And I'm going to, and there's the things that we take for granted, everything.
We do.
You go turn on a light switch. How many people don't have electricity? You go turn on your sink to brush your teeth in the morning. How many people don't have running water? You go hop in your car and it starts right up. How many people start their car or try to start their car in the morning and it doesn't start?
Oh. She looked at the wrong
I knew she was.
Let's turn it around. That's funny. Okay, we can start. We're going to say how grateful.
Grateful for a wife that tries. Grateful for a wife that tries to help but actually does not help.
Okay, I'll cut that and then cut it back.
Are you going to be able to have that skill level to do it?
Yes,
okay.
yes. Okay, right. So you were just saying what?
You try to start your car in the morning, and how many people go to start their car and it doesn't start, right? How many people wake up and they don't have a job to go to? They're out there searching for a job right now.
I mean, look at it this year. Cole corrected me on this, and this is what I love most about Cole is he as a person is a very grateful, happy-hearted dude. He really is.
He is.
And so I had to take one of my listings off the market because they want to relist in the spring. So naturally, I was upset about it. I was like, I couldn't sell it, which the market's just the market right now, right? And I can't be upset with my seller that he wants to make more money in the spring, absolutely. But still, I started feeling down on myself. And then my husband's like, you have 4 other listings and 5 more in the pipeline. Like, why aren't you grateful for that instead of focusing on something so small?
It's a perfect point, and it's absolutely accurate, and that's what ends up happening, right? You lose a piece of business or things, and you focus again. You shift your energy to "woe is me" rather than "oh my gosh, I was in a position where I could take a house off the market and still make a living and still pay my bills." How many realtors that are living on commission only, and they have no listings right now? They have no houses for sale.
Any listings all year. Did you know, like 50% of realtors have only sold 2 houses this year?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm grateful. I mean, I look back on my numbers and they're not where they normally are. And then when I think about that, I'm like, I am so grateful that I'm still doing well.
You are. And that's, I talked about this before too. You can look at this year, and I told my guys, and I've told my mentors this has been the most difficult year in my career with my company. And I'm glad I've gone through it. Honestly, as weird as that sounds, as hard as it's been, I mean, it could have been a little bit less hard, but overall it's humbling. But you learn so much about yourself. You learn about your character. You learn about the team of people that work for you, and you learn about how you can overcome adversity. And this was an adverse year, and we're gonna go, okay, what are we gonna do to fix it going into next year? And we're all fired up. We got a good game plan in place. So I could have spent months in complaining and playing the victim and, oh my gosh, we're struggling. What are we gonna do next year? I might as well throw my hands up and quit. That's when you, like I said, that's when you're being tested. That's when you're constantly being tested. And the people that can learn how to push through and mentally get over that mental hurdle and focus on, wait a minute, I still have a job. We had a bad year. No one lost their job. No one got fired. No one took pay cuts. No one, as far as their salaries and things like that.
Provide for my family over the holidays.
Yes, yeah,
it's the time of the year. And
there's people right now probably going, okay, how the heck, like I said, the holidays are coming up around the corner. How am I going to afford Christmas for my kids? And those are real problems, right?
And I think it goes back to, though, because I had a conversation with a mom the other day about we just overcomplicate things as parents.
I love your mom's comment. I agree.
And, I was thinking about like Christmas for Kian. And once again, I want to give things to my son, but I also want him to be raised to not expect things.
Right.
And so it's a weird balance to kind of find, right? But anyways, I was thinking about what to get Kian for Christmas this year. And I just go back and I'm like, I'm overcomplicating this. I literally could give my kid a box of fruit snacks and he would be on top of the world. Literally, I'm putting a bag of marshmallows in his stocking because that's what he wants.
Do you know what Allison did one year? And I missed doing this. I may have mentioned to you once before, but when the kids were little, You know, it's all about opening gifts. It's the quantity, and then they get older, it gets more expensive, as we all know. But one of the things, we had a bunch of Christmas books, and so many Christmas books. And my kids used to love to, you know, we'd read them a story every night, and we'd take turns reading stories to the kids. Well, what Allison did was she individually wrapped every one of these Christmas books. So every day during Christmas, December 1 through their own advent calendar, and they would go into the tree every night, open up a gift. They thought it was and they still talk about it as teenagers, how they love that. And it was, you know, we'd sit down with them and read the book with them. Your kids want your time, make a gingerbread house, do a project with them, do a craft, make homemade hot chocolate, go bake cookies, go do all that kind of, especially at this age, right? It's, you know, there's so many ways. And again, you're right, we've overcomplicated it. We've made Christmas, in my opinion, we've just made it so much for not what it's supposed to be. And like I said, I think we need to change the conversation about going back to the old school thought process. This is where I think old school should have never been changed. It should have just been what was it about?
Well, we kind of talked about old school and our generations, and like what changed. Like why does our generation have so much things to give our kids? Obviously, money has changed. But the mindset wise, and we kind of tapped into social media, I think has been a big play in that.
We worry too much about what everybody else has, and we focus too much of our energy on what everyone else has, and that we must be failing as people because we aren't in a position.
My kid didn't get a big gift. Or my kid didn't get a designer bag. But you think about it, it's like, naturally as humans, we're competitive. And I've had to fight myself on things that I wanted to post of something my kid and I are doing, or something I gave him, because I'm like, the only intention of that is because to get that attention of what I did.
What's the point?
And so to me, I'm like, I don't need that validation anymore.
Allison and I talked about that a while ago too, about you know, things I post, and you know, and I did things non-intentionally, or you know, and her as well. But it's like, I don't like, it's not the brag game for us. It's not the, oh, we did this. Like even little things like, you know, sharing, you know, things I do with my family, and I really need to keep those things more intimate. Those are things I need to work on myself going into next year. I'm going to, which is like, you know what? There's just a lot of things that happen in our family that needs to stay between us. And if that means I was able to do something nice for my family, you don't need to broadcast all over the world. Why all you're doing is rubbing people's nose in it, and it's not how I meant to do it. You're excited to post some of those things, but a lot of these things should just be within the family, right? And I should be posting stuff about my kids' accomplishments, or when your kid's doing something great, or jiu-jitsu, or my daughter at cheer. That's what it's designed to do.
To make them happy. That's not materialistic.
Yeah, and it's about them. It's family pictures. It's, you know, things like that. That's what you're supposed to be sharing. What it's gotten to now is, you know, that people need that sense of validation. I think people want to feel good about themselves. They want to see it's how many likes they can get, how many hearts they can get, you know, how many times they go back to their social media to figure out, okay, how many people looked at my post and liked my post. And when you start really thinking about it, it's just so fake. It's so false. And, but unfortunately it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. So us as people, us as humans have to change the conversation.
Well,
we really
change
do.
The way you approach it. I mean, it's not going away, so we just need to change the way we use it. And like I said, we
use it. It's a helpful tool, right? For business, it's a
you're
game changer.
Listening to this on YouTube,
right? Or Spotify, hopefully, so you're not looking at me. So
I know. Look away. But yeah, it's just changed completely. And you know, I don't buy my kid designer stuff for multiple reasons. He destroys everything. He's destruction mode as a toddler. But there were times I was like, oh, I want to get him this nice thing. But why was I doing that? Because I wanted to show my kid has the best of the best. Right. And now, I mean, I shop for my kids' clothes at Walmart. I don't know.
And guess who didn't care? Ken.
Yeah.
So the person that you were doing this stuff for doesn't even care. And like I said, we've gotten so to the point where, like I said, it's chasing the next thing. And the reason we talked about this and why I wanted to bring it up today is exactly what you're saying. And we see it all the time. My kids do it all the time. Like, you guys need to be grateful for so many things that you have. The blessings that you have, 95% of the world don't have. So instead of use that for good, don't use that for bragging rights. Don't use that for, okay, let me get the next best thing. Let me just let me throw it away because I'm bored with it.
Yeah.
You know, my kids get that way sometimes where I'm like, okay, well, I bought you these new outfits for Christmas and you said you wanted these things. And Allison now has to tell the kids, like, look, if you don't want something, please tell me. If you don't like something that I got, I would rather take it back to the store and get you something that you really want than you telling me that you want it and then it's sitting there, because then now you're just being wasteful and you're acting like we can be wasteful and we can't.
And that's where, you know, we have to start, I think, implementing gratitude in our kids as early as it can be. Like,
it should be daily, every day.
4-year-old
every day.
I told you, I think we talked about it with his birthday party this year. I was hard on him and I made sure he understood. And I know some people might not agree with this parenting tactic, but I told him, I was like, the second those people walk in our door, the first thing you do is not run to a gift, because he's at that age, you know.
Yeah, he's little. He's little still. He's still learning.
And I wanted him to know, when people come to your party, it's not to give you a gift.
Right.
It's to celebrate you and spend time with you because you're special to them.
Right.
And so, like, I'm hard on him when it comes to him receiving something, because I want him to grow up to be grateful for everything. To this day, like, my mom raised me that way. That's why.
Right.
And to this day, like, when we got
parents
a gift,
did as well.
Yeah, for Christmas, we never rushed opening gifts.
We don't either.
We did one at a time.
We still don't. It's an all-day event.
Yeah, and we would look at the person in the eye, and I don't know if you ever see me do this, you look the person in the eye, and you say, thank you for that.
Yeah, when they were little, we actually got to the point where Allison would actually make things, you know, take the kids out of the package, put the batteries in it, actually play with it for a little bit, rather than just open up, oh, great, on to the next one.
On the next one.
It's like, what are you doing?
Everywhere.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, cool, so Christmas is over in an hour?
Yeah.
And you all this build up, all this type of stuff, and like I said, it's, you know, as I've gotten older, and we're all guilty of it, you know, I get in those ruts too, where I'm like, okay, well, am I not doing enough, or I want the next thing, or do I have enough money, or whatever it may be, and I have to check myself. I have to get back to it and say, like, Ryan, you're getting away from what the core is. The core value needs to be gratefulness, gratitude, caring, loving, kindness, all of those things, and the other stuff comes. The other stuff comes when you do it that way. I truly, truly believe that.
Yeah, I think what would be awesome, and I might do this, I was thinking about that when you're saying it, is literally having a go-to list of things that if you have those items checked off on your list, you're doing fine in life.
Right.
And, you know, like, do I have my husband still? Do I have my son? Do I have my house? Do I still have my 2 parents? Cole's parents, like little things like that. And if I can check those off, and no matter how stressed I am with work, which work really, you work for the money, which is a lot of material. Which
you need. Right? We all need it. We absolutely.
To an extent, right?
Right.
And so when I'm feeling overstressed from work, literally, I want to revert back to this list and say, I have my husband, I have my son, I have my 2 parents, my mom that I call every day, I have this house on my roof. You know,
how many people?
And you start to refill that empty tank.
That's it. And how many people don't have those boxes? How many people will never be able to check them?
Yeah.
So think about that. You start to take a deep dive in this. You start thinking about the things that you take for granted every day, that we have available to us every day, that some people their entire life will never have.
Exactly.
So it's changing the narrative. It's changing the way you think. And I'm telling you, it doesn't mean you're not hungry. I am as well. I'm competitive. I want to win. I'm going to continue to strive to be better. I'm going to push myself to achieve more things. But achievement now is not what it used to be. Achievement now is the things that you just mentioned, and the money and all those type of things, success, whatever that looks like to you, will come just because of all the other things you're doing well, in my opinion. And a lot of people don't do that. And I also see, again, we talk about this all the time. You and I have talked about this offline, not even on this topic, about how many people are just trying to put on this front of life is so great. I've got a perfect life. They spend all of this money for the Instagram photos, for the Facebook photos, for the whatever it is. It's over. You just got stuck with that hefty bill. Everyone's like, great, it was a fantastic time. And they move on with their life. They don't give it a second thought. I want to be the person that changes it. I want to be the person that doesn't care who I impress. I want to be the person that talks about these things with my friends and family and says, look, who you are has nothing to do with how much money you make. Me spending time with you has no difference on what car you drive, what neighborhood you live in. I could care less. I'm more about surrounding myself with people that are like-minded and that want to see you be successful, want to see you win, want to see you be grateful for the things that you have in your life. That's what I want. I
think the world would do a lot better if we had a lot more gratitude that we practice as a whole.
I agree.
Because I think we're always looking for things that we don't have, and we forget about the things we do have. and just everything in life.
And you tell me what fills your soul more. When you just made a comment, Elena just made the comment about a checklist of all these things, and then when you're getting down on yourself, go revert back to that. I think it's a great tip. Hopefully one of you guys will take it. I'm going to take that. So I'm going to take that tip. So thank you for it. I'm going to write things down. I've got a journal. I've got books I'm leaving for my kids. I'm going to write those things down.
Just
and you talk about,
mind.
well, you talk about filling your soul. What's going to fill your soul more? A new car? What's going to fill your soul more? The nice fancy dinner you went out to? The fact you can put your name brand clothes on your kids? Is that going to fill your soul? Is it going to make you feel good for a little bit, and then that eventually fades away? When going back to those type of things, that fills your soul forever.
It does.
Constantly.
It does.
You will go back to it, and you will always have that gut feeling of, wow, I feel so great. I have so much gratitude. Thank you, God, for the grace that you've given me, the blessings that you've given us, and
the lessons you've given me, the strength in me.
Right.
You know, I think about Ken made me emotional last night because we were sitting there cuddling before he went to bed, and I forgot what he said, but I was like, dude, why are you such a cool kid? And immediately he goes, because you're a cool mom. And I was like, what? And I was like, Cole, you won't believe what he just said. And I was like, but that to me fills my soul.
Sure.
And, you know, when we think about gratitude, I'm like, I'm so grateful that I have a kid that loves me so much. Like Cole and I are his everything.
Right.
You know, we're sitting there tickling him before he goes to bed. Cole's on this side, I'm here, and Keen's in the middle. And Keen's just living his best life. Guess what? He didn't have any toy in his hand. He just had mommy and daddy.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I think gratitude, and to kind of wrap it up, the energy, we talked about this briefly, energy is what you attract in your life. So if you start your day or you just practice more gratitude, you're going to bring more happy, good things into your life. You know, if you're focusing on, I don't have this, my job's not here, my husband's always harping on me, blah, blah, blah. Feel that anger as I'm saying it, right? And then you're going to keep attracting that. And I'm correcting myself on this. I'm not saying it.
Oh, no. We
have to correct me on this.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, Allison does the same thing to me. I get snappy. I got a short fuse sometimes.
Yeah.
I have a stressful day, and, you know, she'll say something that's so minor, and it's like a biting her head off on certain things. I look back at it, and a half hour later, I'm like,
why did I lose?
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm like, it was so irrelevant. It was so little, but we're human.
Yeah,
and it's the human thing. The important thing is recognizing it.
It is
recognizing, going, you know what? I have something. I gotta self reflect. I gotta do better. I gotta be a better person.
Yeah,
I gotta be more patient. I gotta have more. You know, I gotta have more understanding. Those type of things, and you know, it starts with gratitude. And these successful people, whoever you may look up to, I guarantee you, the most successful business people and all those people out there are just grateful for everything that they have, and they start their days that way, and good things continue to happen to them because they don't focus on negative. I promise you, they have negative just like any one of us have negative. And
I would say one thing I admire most about Cole, and I wish everybody could take from him, and I wish myself I could take from him, is he's just a grateful dude. Like, he's the smallest things make him happy, you know. And like, there's times I come home stressed from work, and I'm like, and the house is dirty, and a dirty house sets me off. And I, especially after a long day of work, and I come in, I'm like,
come on,
the house
Cole.
is dirty.
Come on, Cole.
I know.
Do some dishes, Cole.
Right? He knows I hate dishes. Then I come in, like, there's crap everywhere, and he's like, oh, poor you. You have a house to come home to with stuff everywhere, with your kid that runs up and says, I love you, mommy, the second you walk in. He literally will do that to me. I'm like, you're right. Like, he'll put me in my place of like, excuse me, come back to reality. Well,
that's a partner too. That's a true partner that calls you out on that stuff and makes you that way, right? So then all of a sudden, boom, it's a switch that goes off, and you think about things differently. So we want to know, how do you guys practice gratitude? Do you practice gratitude? Are you going to start practicing it? I'm writing the list. I'm gonna do I love the list idea. That's fantastic. Cool. I think I'm gonna use that. So
because once again, you know, we're human. We're gonna always be triggered by something with work, and then it's good to kind of come back to our roots.
Well, I think especially as you're going into this holiday season, take a deep look at your life and think about all the things that you truly have, the things that are truly important, the things that actually matter. And I guarantee you, like you just said, when you have people that say come up with 3 new ideas every day, that goes to show you that the things never end. Right? The things to be grateful for never end, but we take them for granted because they're just so we're so used to it. So, but anyway,
think of the things you're grateful for, and reach out to them, let them know.
We're grateful for you.
We are.
So we're grateful. We're grateful for you guys. We're grateful for the people that are taking time out of their lives to listen to us. We're grateful for the people that have shared, you know, the messaging that we believe deeply in to other people that they think that they might connect with. So it's we can't do this without you guys, and I'm grateful for you. And you know, please continue to like us and
share our episodes. If you
rate us, please, as well.
Yes, rate us. If you heard anything in our episode that makes you think of someone, share it with them.
Yes, and reach out to us. A lot of people have, and that's been the coolest thing. And the coolest thing about this podcast has been people actually saying, well, "Why don't you guys talk about this?" Or, "Man, oh my gosh, I love that episode," or "That really resonated with me." And it goes to show you that we're doing the right thing. And,
absolutely.
We're going to continue to put this content out there because we believe in it. So
absolutely, we'll catch you on the next one.
Take care, guys.